He's alive!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Paul Workman. I am the man of constant hatred. Welcome back to Just Born Movies, the show where we take films straight out of the Hollywood womb and we dissect them for you. My guest this week is Manny Classic.
What's up?
Manny Classic, what did we see this week?
We saw Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider is a retelling of a series of video games, which was also a film series earlier in the decade. Honestly, the plot is Indiana Jones, but with a female, so that's a thing.
Yeah.
What are you doing here, Laura? 7 years I've been on this island. Your father, he put me here. Now I see the likeness, intelligence, the recklessness.
What do you know about my father?
All right, Manny, what do we think of this film?
I will say this, it's the best of the 3 Tomb Raider movies that have come out.
That is absolutely true. Now,
Saying that that is not high esteem, and I didn't think much of this film at all.
honestly, I didn't either. It's incredibly boring. Supposed to be something going on. There's a plot. It's boring. You got a MacGuffin. You got someone looking for it. You got a dead parent.
Mostly dead parent, because spoilers, they're not dead, because it follows the movie actually follows a lot of the kind of twist points that exist within the rebooted video game franchise. Because for those of you who don't know, Tomb Raider existed as a video game in 1996. It was originally for PlayStation, and for some bit of time, I think there was like 4 or 5 games, and then they hit a pretty hard reboot that reset the entire world, and this movie is supposed to be more serious, like the rebooted half, while the original movies starring Angelina Jolie are more focused on the original kind of telling of Tomb Raider. So
yeah, so it's a little campier, a little more fun, in a way. It's supposed to be. Yeah, and for all that it's worth, Alicia Vikander does a fine enough job. I liked her in a lot of other things way more than I liked her in this, especially Ex Machina, which she was fantastic in.
mm-hmm.
She's there. She plays the character well, but they just, I don't know, everything just kind of falls flat. The action sequences are really dull. You know that there are stakes, but it never feels very high.
There's early movie plot points that are written into the film that inevitably have no payoff at the end of the film at all.
Yeah, and then there's plot points that are supposed to feel like a twist, but you kind of know what they are just because of powers of deduction.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's only about 5 or 6 real characters in this film. Everybody else is just kind of background fodder. They're all people as plot points. They're not well fleshed out characters. So you get Laura, you get the woman that was watching her after her father's death. Her father.
Her name was Anna.
Anna.
Yeah.
There you go. Played by Kristen Scott Thomas, who again does a fine enough job. She's a fine actress.
Mm-hmm.
Dominic West as her father does okay.
He's in the film. He realistically he does, I guess, admirably for the plot and the amount of screen time that he gets. Maybe if his character had a little bit more meat to it, other than simply kind of setting things in motion and then reappearing an hour into the film, would be fine.
Yeah.
Walton Goggins, who I believe is one of the most underrated actors in Hollywood, really doesn't get a chance to do much of anything besides be kind of snidely Whiplash. He's really mustache twirling, kind of.
Choose a little bit of scenery.
Yeah.
He does what he's supposed to. He's definitely much better in other things. I feel like I'm just going to keep saying that. We're going to keep going around the circle. Dominic West was great. He's better in something else.
Yeah. Walton Goggins is better in almost everything he's been in than this
Yeah.
movie. So
Especially The Shield.
yeah,
See The Shield.
let's talk about that.
That show's great. Yeah, the shot selection's real boring. You know, just move the camera pointed at things.
There's some weird choices. In particular, the one that kind of pops into my head is in the trailer you get to see kind of the shipwreck happening, so I'm not spoiling anything.
Mm-hmm.
But that shot in that scene in the movie is just so dark you can't honestly see anything, and then the second the ship crashes, all of a sudden it's like there's a techno rave because it immediately starts lightning storming and like everything's just flashing for no reason, even though there was no lightning prior to that.
And most of the cuts in those scenes or most of the cuts in most of the action scenes are too fast to really know or care what's going on. It detracts a lot. It's very distracting. It's just not fun to watch.
No, there wasn't a whole lot to it. Music, which is usually a saving grace in a lot of movies that we've seen recently. You know, even if the movie's awful, the music tends to be, you know, something we could point at and just be like, oh, well, the music was good, and if it was in a different film, it might have helped out that film. This film, I honestly don't even remember the music. It existed as a thing, and
it was there. I remember it being there.
yeah.
I don't know.
I think inherently my problem is that it's a movie based on a video game that really doesn't do anything to endear itself towards the video game players. There's like one little nod when the spikes come out and they're like, oh, it's meant to keep people in as opposed to keep people out. Like, okay, there's spikes, but I've seen that in Indiana Jones. I saw that in...
Yeah, the Goonies.
Yeah, like...
Like, honestly, the whole, when they get into the tomb, that whole sequence, all I was thinking of was the Goonies. Like, it didn't do much new. It didn't do much interesting. You get this, like, paramilitary force called Trinity that's holding all these people hostage on an island so that they can work to find this MacGuffin, which... You don't get to know any of them but Walton Goggins, and Walton Goggins keeps saying, "Oh, I've been stuck on this island for 7 years and I've got no one to talk to." Like, what about like the 20 dudes that are hanging out with you? There's so little interesting characters that even the characters in the film think they're boring.
That's
and
right.
don't want to talk to them. This film is a rough watch.
Yeah.
It's such a slog, and you know, we get Hurricane Heist last week, which was a bad movie, but it's the most fun you've ever been. You've had watching a movie because it's just cheesy and it's fun. This isn't cheesy. It's not fun. It's just bad.
Legitimately, when we saw this movie, it was 9:50 was the showtime. At like 10:30, I'm looking at my phone like, what is taking this movie so long to get anywhere?
Yeah. Let's see. The writing's subpar at best. The cinematography and the shot selection is really, really weird at times. The performances are there. I feel like they could have been given more to do. Mostly everybody. Honestly, I can't point to anything in this film that I actually liked. There's stuff that I thought was passable, and I guess those passable things are going to keep it from being too low. So, on our scale, I'm going pretty damn bad.
This movie doesn't do a lot to help itself, even though it attempts to start world-building spoilers. It kind of ends in a way that would naturally lead to a sequel. But at best, all this movie does is, in my mind, evoke better movies that have done the same tropes prior to. Like, my best analogy is that this movie is a car stuck in the mud. Like, it spins very quickly, but ultimately doesn't get anywhere and doesn't produce anything relevant. And it pretty much just creates a mess of the whole scene as it attempts to move forward. Based on our scale, I'm going to go pretty damn bad. sorry, Leash of a Candor.
You are wonderful. Danish Girl was great. You were great in Danish Girl. So what did you think of the movie we saw? I've already forgotten what movie we were talking about.
We were talking about Tomb Raider.
That's right, we were talking about Tomb Raider. What did you think of that movie? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Because I'm leaving that in. Leave a comment down below and let us know. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to watch the other shows on our channel. Drinking Age Movies, where Manny Classic and myself watch movies from 21 years ago. Damn Fine Meats, where Manny Classic makes damn fine meats based off of those movies. And our new monthly series, Heavy Drinking, in which we look at film series and the filmographies of certain directors. And as always, have a damn fine day.